Welcome to the Impact Storyteller Show. My name is Anna Ngurachu, also known as the Impact Storyteller. I'm the author of the book 10,000 Steps Towards Me, creator of Impact Storyteller, which focuses on writing and personal development coaching. As a writer, I tell stories of impact that cause people to reflect, change, and act towards living authentically. Through my coaching, I help those who dare to change to think and live differently and hopefully make an impact in their lives. I also currently consult as a development economist. The Impact Storyteller Show is an online show that gets down to real talk with a selective caliber of guests, and we focus on personal development and self-discovery. In my book, I touch on 12 aspects that may influence your ability to live authentically. Today, we will dig into one aspect. To dive into the other 11 aspects, I've put a free framework of reflective questions called a dozen reflective doses that will help guide you through your own self-discovery process. You can find the link below. So today we have the pleasure of having Luyanda join us. If you haven't heard that name, then you are in for a treat. Luyanda Thela is an author, editor, author coach, life coach, NLP practitioner, and a distinguished Toastmaster. She's also in pursuit of growth and learning and even named her company Masande Sake, which means let's grow and build. Welcome, Luyanda. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Anna, for having me.
Awesome. So, Luyanda, our theme today is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's really framed under the concept of, extraneous circumstances and their influence on you. Or in a more contemporary fashion, when life happens. So, as mentioned on the show, we actually just jump straight into the topic and, just start to dig in. So, if that's okay with you, I'm going to ask the first question.
That's all right.
Awesome. So, what event has dramatically shaped your life and thrown you off course a little or in a major way? And has this event caused you to question who you are, what you want to do, and your value system? So maybe let's start with that first question. Could you share more about this event and its impact on you?
Okay, so there are a number of events that happened, but I think if I was to sum it up, was really my failure to adapt to the workplace. So I think that caused a lot of ripple effects afterwards. So I think because the thing is, I started working from, it's not really from a young age, but as soon as I started working, things just weren't the way that I always imagined them to be, because you know that you need to study and then get into a job and and things are supposed to be amazing, and you climb up the corporate ladder and get a fancy car, just the dream.
Okay.
But for some reason I wasn't getting to that dream. 3 times of trying, but I just wasn't getting to that dream. And that definitely took it had an impact on the way that I saw myself, the confidence that I had, and just being able to understand what success should be like for me in case.
Yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned it as a failure, that, the failure to kind of fit into this model. Maybe just touch a little bit on that, if you don't mind. Do you actually see it as a failure, or was it more of a realization that this is probably not where I'm supposed to be? Or, I don't know, did society make it feel like we have to all succeed in the work life, so to speak?
I really like that question. So I think me terming it as a failure, I think has a lot to do with my surroundings and people that would say such things, because as I said, there's that expectation that you work and then you make money and then you are settled in your life. And so if you are not working, then you're unstable. So they try to find, by they I mean my parents are trying to find me work, like, okay, what job can we get you into, and that sort of thing. But taking a step back to the situation at hand, it's just that I tried working in a consulting company, and being an introvert, it was always a barrier for me. That like I could get very far in terms of writing and developing the presentations, but when it had to do with presenting it, the confidence was not quite there. And I always just felt like, can't I just type this and send it to you and you read it and you do that. But me not being able to do that meant that I was not visible, and it seemed like I was not keen to grow. And so those were the things that were then said to me, that no, you're not visible, Luyanda. You're not in anybody's space. You're just to yourself. Like you do the job, yes, and that's okay. But we need more. You need to be out there a bit more. You need to be having coffee with the directors. You need to be, and so that was a personality clash. There's only so much communication skills training that you can do, and not come across as inauthentic. So it was just, that was the first failure, as you can say, because then I could only get that far without, because the higher I was expected to climb in the organization, the more I needed to speak to people and be into small talk, which is awkward. So it's like, guys. Yeah. So that was the first time. And then, yeah, man, like, and so I faced similar situations in 3 different places. And then, so that's why it seemed like a failure, that, okay, I've tried this here, it didn't work. I've tried this here, it didn't work. I tried it there, like, what's wrong with me?
Sure. So it almost started making you feel like there was something wrong with you, and caused questioning who you are, and and I suppose our value system that was kind of imposed on us by our parents or society, that whole safety net thing. They want us to be in jobs, so to provide some sort of a safety net. But what did it make you feel about yourself? Did it make you feel, because what I'm gathering is you're an introvert like myself, right?
Yes.
Would you say that's correct?
Yes, definitely.
So how did it?
So the thing is,
go ahead.
Oh, so the thing is, right, being introverted, so I tend to reflect a lot. Right. So I stay in my head quite a bit. And so each time these things happen, it's like, okay, what did I do? What could I have done differently? Is it the way that I show up? Okay, let's try and show up differently. And so when that doesn't even work, it's like, okay, I am out of options. What? There's only so much I can change myself to try to fit whatever it is that they're looking for. And sometimes they say things, okay, fine, let's try that. Yeah. And I tried for a while, and then eventually I get bored of, because now you are someone else for that moment, and you just realize that it gets tiring.
Yeah. It's so exhausting to try and be someone you're not, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
I mean, I was reading. It's a mask. And it's like you have to wear the mask, and then when you get home you take it off, and then you wear it the next day and you take it off. I think you and I are probably in the same boat. I was reading something the other day where organizations should actually put in place measures that allow introverts to be, to really just be themselves. If allow for remote working, for example, which we have now.
Yes.
It's something I've been crying for so many years, and then thank you very much, for what we've done now. But it's so for so long, the extrovert has always been kind of the person put on the pedestal, that we all have to aspire to be this outgoing person. But there's so much strength in being an introvert. A lot of leaders are actually introverts, because we are actually considered as very independent people. We love to do things the way we love to do things, and actually we create so much value because you're actually more inclusive. And this whole idea of putting people in a box is it's over. We need to figure out new models to do that. So thank you for voicing that. I'm interested to know how you overcame this. How did you overcome this feeling of not fitting into the work life or the corporate cycle, shall we call it? And how did you overcome it, or have you overcome it?
So I think after trying it 3 times, I realized that, okay, it can't possibly just be me. There's only, as I said, there's only so much changing of myself that I could do. I mean, I went to Toastmasters. That's how I ended up in Toastmasters, because I needed to be able to present and learn how to communicate. So I did that. I thrived in Toastmasters. So I was able to communicate and as you read in the bio, become a distinguished Toastmaster. So it's not that I can't speak, I can't communicate. It was something else that I had no control over. And then of course, during that time, there was also bullying that took place in the workplace. So then it was just, I think the first two times I really just enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, this is, how people always say that you need to go through the pain and you'll come out stronger. Go through the pain, you'll come out stronger. And so it was more of that, like just enjoy it. It will end at some point. It'll end. And so when I went into a different place and I saw the signs much quicker, I was like, okay, no, we are not doing this. We are leaving. We are just, it's fine. I've seen the cycle. I've seen how this plays out. Let's leave. So I think me getting out of the space and finding my peace of mind, I think that was an important step, just deciding that, okay, let's walk away from these spaces and find something that I enjoy, something that makes me happy, and just as much as it won't fit into that box of climbing the corporate ladder and having all of these other things that are, like having expensive life. Okay, I've never really been one that likes an expensive lifestyle in any case, but just being that person that people expect. And I was like, okay, no, let's walk away from that and start from scratch. That's essentially where I'm at now.
That's incredible. You are actually very courageous in actually stepping out of that environment. There's so many people who are, who still are stuck there and they still think and feel like you. So well done for taking the step to shift your environment, because I've always believed that some environments are just not conducive in our journey of life. They're not meant for us, and we need to go and create our own environments. So I hope
you just keep forcing and you're like,
Exactly. We need to find the doors that we need to knock on, not the ones that have just been set up for us to start knocking on as well. Yeah. And you mentioned just now that you had to go and find something that works for you. What was the aha moment for you that you could live a life in spite of, the safety net ideology that was created, to go up the corporate ladder? What was that aha moment that you were able to find something to do for yourself and that you would be okay? What was it that shifted?
So I think it was publishing the book, because publishing a book was a matter of creating something that was not there, and then being able to show it to the world, and then people bought it. Like, okay, so this is possible. Somebody can buy something that I've created. Okay, that's great. So then I looked at that process. What did I do? I wrote. I like writing. I like reading. Okay. And then I looked back at all the tasks that I was given at work that I really excelled at. I was like, okay, everything that related to writing and editing, those are the things I really liked. But that wasn't my job. My job was other things, but that was not my job. And I was like, okay, fine. These are the things that let's not say I'm comfortable in, but these are the things that I enjoy. Their work, yes, but these are the things I enjoy. Let's do more of that. Let's find more opportunities to do more of that. So I think that was the aha moment, because then after writing the book, I started then looking back on all the different opportunities in the different workspaces, and how that was the one thing that they could not take away from me. They could not say, no, Luyanda, you don't make sense when you write. They would never say that. They'd say other things, but just that, okay, that's something I can focus on. That's something I do well. Let's continue that in that regard.
That's amazing. So by creating a book and publishing a book, you're able to realize that you can create your own life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was an important stepping stone, I say.
And an encouragement to a lot of people, and a lot of young people as well. So well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm curious to understand, so now you've had that aha moment, you've gone through this journey. It may not be an easy one. A lot of people do go through that journey. and some people only probably face the hard truth later in life. How do you ensure that you continue to, see the positive of what you've overcome, that you can actually create a life that, that you design today and in the future? How do you ensure that you don't keep being pulled back into that psyche of, oh, I need the safety net I need to go and check out a job from corporate, whatever? How do you make sure you you focus on the thing that is that you want, not only today but in the future? What is your guiding post?
Sure. That is a difficult one. Because the thing is, right, when you're trying to stay positive, things don't always work out that way. Life decides to test you in different directions. Like, what? You said positive? Let's see how you handle this. You said what? No. So I think trying to remain focused and trying to remain positive has been a journey in itself. Because I think each time like the money runs out, I think, oh, I should get a job. And then I remember, oh, this would happen, this. No, if I do get a job, let's do that. I need to look at these things. So actually there was even an opportunity last year. And it was the very first time that I turned down a job. Because I'm used to, I'm used to being in that state of really looking for a job. And then if something comes along, whether it's in line with what I want or not, it's just, okay, it's a job, let's get it done. But last year I was able to turn down a job because of things that they couldn't accommodate. Like, for instance, they needed me to dress formally at that point in time. And I'm like, oh, I don't. First of all, we've been in lockdown for eternity. So of course, clothes that are formal don't fit me. And so, and so there were just so many other things that they wanted, and you needed to be there at a certain time, but they also weren't quite clear on what it is that you'd be doing. There were just so many gaps in that process.
Right.
They're like, no, if you take on more work, then you'll earn more money. But right now we can only give you this much, and then you work all your weekends, and then guys, this is not sounding right for the amount of money that you're trying to pay me for all of the. No, it's fine. It's fine. So that was just one of the things that went on the wayside of when you're trying to stay positive. But I think it's just remembering what the goal is. The goal is financial freedom. The goal is happiness. I think that's one of the things that I've put at the top of my list, that I need to be happy. And so that's, as much as sometimes I won't have money to do stuff, it's like, oh man, if only I had. Nope, don't do it. And then the next month things work themselves out, and I just get either an editing gig or something. Things just work out.
That's incredible. No, definitely, I like that, to be happy and to keep to the pursuit of happiness, let's put it that way.
Yes.
And so courageous to turn down a job, because it basically means now you understand your value. Because for a lot of people, they just take whatever comes because they accept that the value is attributed to them by the job or the company or the world. But until you can determine your own value and say, this is what my happiness means to me, and I'm not willing to give that up for this miniature thing, that says a lot. So well done.
Thank you. I never really thought about it being tied to my values, but actually.
That's incredible.
That's true.
That's incredible. I read a really nice quote the other day about what you just said. It just completely slipped my mind. But how you said, eventually something always happens, like comes up, like a writing gig and everything. And I think the quote said something of the lines of, when you are pursuing your happiness or whatever it is that is your dream, when you're creating your own life, the universe expands and provides the opportunities. And I feel like sometimes when you're in the wrong environment, you'll always feel like stuck and there'll be nothing good happening because the universe is not expanding to give you more opportunities. You need to get out and follow what your goal, your dream, whatever, and then it will start to happen. Like the magic starts to happen. So I don't know if that helps.
No, it does.
Yeah.
It does. It does. It does. Yeah, man. As I said, like things, because it's not like I am on the phone calling people, hounding them for opportunities all the time. I'm
Exactly.
not yet there. I'm still trying to get into the whole sales and selling thing.
Yeah,
But um, so when things come together, it's quite amazing.
it is. It is. It's amazing. And I'm glad they're coming together for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say, Luyanda, with all your wisdom of your
Oh
experience?
wow.
Because you are wiser having gone through that process.
I mhm.
What would you say to others as a take-home tip or recommendation based on our conversation today? So maybe for people who are currently, struggling at work or stuck in an environment
Mhm.
that is not conducive to their journey or about to start creating something but a little bit hesitant, what would you say to them? What would your takeaway recommendation be to them?
Um, I think an important part is understanding what you bring to the table,
Mhm.
right? So what exactly is I wouldn't really say your brand or something, but it's just like what are your skill sets? So outside of the job and what it is that they hired you to do, what are you good at as a person? What can you create as a person? If this job was to disappear, what would you do differently? So I think it's just and it's something that somebody mentioned to me when I started. They're like, when you're in a job, always be applying. I'm like, but why? That sounds so like,
Yeah.
because I'm very big on loyalty. Like, but why? It's like I'm cheating on this job. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, because you are replaceable. So ensure that you are always marketing yourself, because if this was to fall through, what else would you have going for you? So as
Mm.
much as you could be applying for more jobs, but also try to find that like this is what I really am good at. This is what um, if this job was to disappear, this is what I would start doing.
Mm.
Because then at least it gives you that mindset of creating something on your own
Yeah.
before you are forced into that situation.
Mm.
So developing your skill set, developing your sort of your value, your value to the organization or your value to any different space, so that so that um, it helps you as you grow in your journey.
Sure.
But also, as I said, if things don't work out, you already have this skills that you've developed, this confidence that you've gained in what it is that you bring to the table.
Hmm. I like that. So find your niche, find what makes you different, and start creating that and changing your mindset and growing and developing yourself, even whilst you're still at a job.
Yes,
Yeah, I like that.
personal development is very important. Just
Exactly.
definitely continue with that. Just not
Yeah.
even like, you don't always have to just wait for your company to pay for a course, whatever. Just continue reading. It's
Hmm.
reading is important.
Exactly. There's only one version of you, so you better develop that person.
Mhm. Oh, I
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you have so many insights, and I'm sure a lot of people are itching to find out a bit more about your journey. So where can the
Mhm.
audience find you and get more insights, and where can they get, an order? Where can they get a copy of your book to see what you created?
Um, so they could get the order of the book by going onto it's a bit.ly link, which makes it much quicker. So it's bit.ly/Luyanda, the capital L. So at least with that, it gets you to the order form. And you can find me on Facebook, Luyanda Thela. I'm there quite a bit. Um, I'm an observer on Twitter, so because Twitter streets are mean. So I am an observer on Twitter, but I'm there.
Yeah,
And of course, email. I think email is the easiest, info@masandesake.com.
awesome.
Yeah, only any of those links, they could get hold of me and connect.
Awesome. I will make those links available at the bottom of the link so anyone can, get in touch with you and get a copy of that book. Super.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this great discussion. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time and sharing your story and being willing to be open and vulnerable. We want vulnerability because I think we don't talk about these issues often, and people need to start talking about these issues because there's so many people struggling with them. So thank you for being that flag bearer, so we call it. We really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much also for creating this space so that people can share and be vulnerable, and so that these topics are brought to light, and more people can then engage with you, as you also have a book that is really really an important tool for people to have in their lives.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And if you have any other topics you'd like us to discuss, you're welcome to share them, Luyanda. We'll be featuring more guests, and hopefully we'll feature you some other time as well.
As I grow up.
As you grow up. Super. Thank you so much, Luyanda. We like to end off with a very cool short game show. It's called This or That Game. So I'm going to quickly ask you a question and then we'll end off. So, Luyanda, what would you rather have? A beach holiday or a bush holiday?
Beach holiday.
Nice. So are you planning any beach holidays when it gets a bit safer? Where to next?
I don't know yet. It's just so Jabula, my husband, has always been like, bush, no, I'd rather do glamping. So it's like, okay, let's stick to the beaches, and it's happy holidays and everyone's good. So I'm not planning anything, but as soon as things open up, we need to go back to Mozambique. Nice. Because that's pretty.
That's awesome. We have something in common. I'm also a beach holiday person.
Yeah.
Super. Thank you so much for your time. And that's it for today. Thank you, Luyanda.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. A few minutes of deep, impactful insights. Thank you very much to our guests. You can find our guest links in the description below, so check those out and stay in touch with them. For key takeaways on how to reflect and apply what we've talked about here, I've put a free framework of reflective questions based on my book 10,000 Steps Towards Me that will help guide you through your self-discovery process. Click on the link in the description to jump into my framework tool, A Dozen Reflective Doses. Remember, there's nothing more purposeful than finding you and taking the leap to live authentically. Feel free to share your stories with me. I can't wait to hear about how you made that leap for yourself. Until next time!